Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. We are back for another super duper mega week of best of threes absolutely everywhere. I'm Atlas, and I am joined once again by the wonderful Wadid. You are now almost an official English commentator. How are you feeling?
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm glad that people like me, but at the same time, I'm worried about again, it's my second language, so I'm still worried about it, but a bit better, because currently I'm in my home with my sweatpants, with my cozy microphone, so it feels great, actually.
Now we're going to have that synergy, Wadid, because I'm also doing exactly the same thing. So it's going to be totally fine. Last time you were, of course, commentating from LOL Park, but now we are in full comfort, ready for some really sweet games. So I'm really hoping that we have some differences between the games that we get. If you remember back, we had that crazy match between DAMWON and APK for your debut on the English broadcast, and now we get SANDBOX versus Dragon X. So maybe this means that we're going to have some higher quality games.
I'm not sure if it's gonna high quality game, because DRX has been performing really worse than compared to Round 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wish they played better than before. Before they played the last games, yeah.
Me too. And we'll see whether they have turned things around. I mean, their win against Griffin was, of course, expected, but it might have provided them with some momentum moving into this match. And you can see SANDBOX not too much further ahead of that Griffin squad sitting there on the eastern side of the bracket. Afrika are also relatively close to DAMWON here as well. And our second match of the day will show us whether or not KT are really going to be a team to contend with, because they have been on an absolute tear, and it shouldn't really stop now that they're up against a Griffin roster that isn't necessarily performing too well. As we have a look at player of the game statistics, it is definitely all about the mid laners here. It's Chovy once again out in front, and it reminds me of the Griffin debut, where this guy was just so damn good, and then unfortunately Choky came out and things were getting a little bit dangerous. But certainly great to see Chovy performing.
Yeah, I mean, when DRX is winning, always Chovy is 1v9ing the game. I didn't feel like his team is supporting him, so it's just great to see how Chovy carries his team. But at the same time, again, like, League is not about the only one-man game, you know? So it should be everyone in DRX playing good and supporting Chovy.
I agree. Also adorable to see that BDD and Clid are even at 800 points. The brothers in jungle and mid lane over on Gen G's side certainly performing very, very well, and I'm glad the player of the game statistics are also demonstrating that for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, and also that was April Fool's joke right there. BDD and Clid pictures were swapped earlier.
I didn't even notice.
I mean, I didn't even notice that. So, yeah, I mean, really interesting.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that is actually brilliant.
I wasn't paying enough attention to exactly what the pictures were. Oh my god, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. But also, they look like brothers anyway, so it's a very tame April Fool's joke. I'll tell you that much. As we have a look at some of the pick band stats for 10.5, Aphelios is pretty damn good at the moment, and despite getting what feels like nerfs every single patch, he is still just ridiculous. Kalista as well, certainly on the rise, and then Set and Ornn, our favorite top lane champions, and I guess support champion in the form of the Set, with Senna also basically not being allowed to play League of Legends through most of last week.
I mean, it shows that AD carries have only few champions that you can play on the bot side in pro scene. And I mean, I can actually see that mid lane champions are so many to play. So they just normally snipe ban a top lane or just AD carries that carries the early game or mid game, late game. So yeah, I mean, they nerfed Aphelios a lot, but it seems like it's still broken.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to have a look at 10.6. We have switched over to the more recent patch here, as Wukong, I believe, isn't available for play. But we are still going to be having a look at him on your screen right here.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, Death Dance also changed. It's a little bit defensive change for the Death Dance. And then TP, you get actually a movement speed buff for when you use TP. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they use TP. And late game is only 4 minutes to reuse the TP. So yeah, I want to see some Marin moments.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see them Marin teleports, the Smeb teleports, and see whether we can get those flanks working out. It might actually be a direct buff to Lonely, who was trying his very best to get his Aatrox flanks working, and they just straight up didn't ever in his matches. And he's going to be playing in our first match, so maybe, just maybe, this teleport change is going to be helping out, as we are going to get some buffs here as well. Kindred, despite the fact that she was getting a lot more play in 10.5, she has been now buffed effectively, as Pyoshik, of course, is very happy about that one. The Morgana buff as well, and buffing Black Shield is actually pretty dangerous here because we still love Morgana for a Black Shield, especially with her performance recently, being able to shut down things like the Callista turret quite nicely on the bottom side of the map. Last time we saw it, I think it was Effort that was playing. And then Ryze is back, which is terrifying because we have some of the best Ryze players in the world.
Yeah, actually on top we have aggressive Ryze like Naguri. And we have mid Faker. So yeah, this is actually a patch for LCK, it seems like, no? Kindred,
yeah, man.
For Pyoshik and Ryze for great solo laners.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. So we infiltrated Riot Central. We sent a team in, and we just attacked the balance team and forced them to do the changes that we wanted. That's what happened. So
I mean, it's been always a sniping nerf against the LCK because we've been performing so much better than any other region for a few years. So now, finally, they buffed it for LCK.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. As yeah, we're going to have Aphelios nerfed once again. Senna also nerfed once again. We'll see whether the fasting Senna nerf is going to be enough to bring her away from the ban list, but I highly doubt that is going to be the case. And some more just numbers nerfs on the Aphelios side. He's still going to be strong, guys. It's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, I agree. It's still strong 2 champions, so I don't think... And also, like, especially LCK players, they like to just be in comfort zone, so they are not going to try new things. As I said in the podcast, if you miss it, it's on a lot of different... links, right?
Oh, yeah. You can go check out the Pog State. Episode 5 has dropped. It is, the audio version is out. YouTube's been really weird today, so unfortunately we're unable to stream the LCK on YouTube. And also we haven't been able to upload the Pog State just yet. But as soon as it is available, we will get the video version out for you guys, and it is up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, things like that, already in audio format. So go check that one out if you want to. Widid was there with both LS and I, and we were just discussing the state of League of Legends, having a great time. Yeah.
And now I'm here to cast DRX and SANDBOX.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's go over the points of the match. Chaotic round 2. DragonX finally got a win, but they got a win against Griffin. So we're not exactly celebrating just yet. We need to see them have a better performance, and thankfully SANDBOX isn't the tippy top of the competition, so it might be a good way to ease DragonX back into some winning. Chovy certainly performing very, very well, picking up all of those player of the game points. I still remember that moment where Chovy was even with Deft, and then he took that one player of the game away from him to pip him at the post at the very end there. But now it's all about Chovy. Deft nowhere in sight when it comes to the player of the games. We'll see whether that is going to change as we go into this game, because I'm ready for some Deft carry games. I'm really ready for Deft to step up.
Yeah, I feel same, because when I talk about DRX before, I was always hyping up about Keria and Deft because they were playing so good.
Yeah.
They're playing so good at round 1, but I don't think they're even playing better than KT bot lane right now. Tushin and aiming, I think they're playing better. So I really think they just need to show the performance that they have before, because KT is chasing them really, really fast from under. So yeah, they have to win this if they want to just contest the top 3 team.
And also, I love this stat actually, the win rate with Dragon Soul, because it does show how much DragonX plays around the mid game. And 11 wins, 100% win rate with Dragon Soul is actually pretty crazy, especially when you compare it to SANDBOX, who has even managed to lose with Dragon Soul in some of their games. Probably the Cloud Soul, which does basically nothing and makes you just feel really sad. But otherwise, you know, the Dragon X stats are still looking okay, despite their really strangely low first blood percentage. They just seem to be the first ones to die every single time. And I believe it was you and I that went over exactly why that is, because all of their lanes are so pushed up all the time that it's relatively easy for them to get ganked.
I mean, at first, maybe you get scared because you don't know where is jungle. But right now, I don't think anyone is just afraid against DRX right now, because they showed their weakness already a lot of times, and they didn't even fix it at round 2. So I think this is the chance for SANDBOX. So yeah, we have the same roster.
Yeah, Lonely still here, man. I'm so confused. Like, I know it's kind of good to see On Fleek instead of Punch. I actually think that On Fleek is better. I've spoken about this before. But where is Summit, man? Where is our god of the top lane that was performing so well? It's just crazy. Is checking out Chovy's stats here. He's doing pretty well. There in the mid lane, damage per minute, highest in the league. Third on damage percent, with Dove being in the lead on that one is very interesting. But look at those CS numbers, Woodhead. Look at he just kills those red dots so effectively.
Lane Kingdom, bro.
Oh yeah.
Lane Kingdom.
Yeah.
LCK first. I mean, also his champion pool is
insane.
Just insane. 18 champions. Man, I don't have any records about that, because always support has to be tank support, always. And all the damage dealers wants to pick Braum or Tahm Kench for them. So
I mean, Carrier at least is sitting at 17 right now, I believe.
Yeah,
he's just one behind Chovy as far as the amount of champions picked. So he's trying his best to one-up it here for the support. So thank you, Carrier, for doing your very best to keep that champion pool as wide as possible. And here we are into the pick and ban for game number 1. Dragon X on our blue side, SANDBOX on the red. Thankfully, representing the correct colors this game. That's going to make things very easy to understand, as LeBlanc is banned away and Aphelios, of course, is going to be taken off the board.
I really hope they don't pick Caitlyn and Braum at the same time again, ever again.
Yes,
I really hope not.
Please don't do that. I do want to see the Caitlyn again, though. I'm totally okay with the Caitlyn.
Yeah?
I just really want it to be paired with a mage support that can really crush a lane, because you have double ranged and one of them is Caitlyn, and you can punish any melee support that anyone's chosen, even if it is like this Kalista Taric that's been so powerful. So I really want to see that come in. Another conversation that we definitely had on the POG stage, which was a very interesting one between you and LS. So make sure you guys go and check that one out when it is available. As Trundle's banned here, we have got so many things left available. As Ornn slipped through, Set slipped through, Senna is available, Kalista is available. My god.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they banned Trundle, because I was expecting them to just open Trundle and play against it, because Kindred got buffed, and even before, they really like to play Kindred into Trundle, but they just banned it. So it seems like they have prepared something else.
They've got an Olaf comp that they're preparing. That's what I'm assuming. Is Set is going to be the first lock in here. I like it, flexible, but it's not Ornn. So
Ornn and Set. I mean Ornn and Senna.
Oh my god, that would be just busted. Well, Kalista and Ornn. Kalista and Ornn would be like the dream. Yeah. That's the nuts. That's called getting the nuts, which is something that we say in card games most of the time. I'm not sure whether you'd be familiar with that one, but getting the nuts is definitely good. As Kalista is locked away, and now On Fleek looks for that Ornn button and just walks straight past it. He said, "Hi, Ornn. Oh, you want to win the game? No. Let me just pick this Aatrox. Oh my God, Lonely. Why? 6 in a row.
Why? Why they're picking Aatrox on red side?
Oh my God.
That's really not necessary, by the way. On red side, you can just easily counterpick them, or okay, I see that. Okay, they just really want to counterpick mid lane to just stop Chovy, I think, because DRX is all about Chovy, as I said. So probably they just want to pick Aatrox to go half-F on the top side.
But I mean, you can also
And-
pick on and flex at mid if you want to. Then you can like have any sort of choice when it comes to if you're counter-picking top lane or mid. Oh my god, I don't know. Well, Varus is locked away. Certainly a high priority pick here in the LCK as there's the Lucian. So we're having one of these champions go into a solo lane.
Yeah, I mean, Chovy played the really great Lucian mid last game, so I'm glad to see it again.
Yeah, definitely.
But a little worry about here is they didn't pick support yet, so I mean, this time Braum will be great here, but yeah, they got the Kalista Taric, which is so great on the bot side.
Yeah.
They didn't even get nerfed.
I'm really surprised that they actually locked in the Taric this round instead of grabbing it and confirming that they can get the Taric on Fleek's pick, but maybe just assuming that no one's going to be picking Taric outside of that Kalista lane, because we've seen Taric, I mean, Tucson attempted to try and make it work, but unfortunately in that game against Afrika, they weren't able to get across the line with the Taric pickup that didn't have the Kalista in the lane, so maybe just assuming that you're never going to pick it without Kalista there as we get into the next round of bans and the Elise is taken away.
I mean, they still have a lot of champs that LCK lost to pick, like Jarvan. I mean, Jarvan got banned, but
Olaf is there. I think
Olaf,
the jungle is going to be
Olaf
a place
is
that both of these teams have to be wary of. No jungle is locked in
and
just
Rumble.
yet. Yeah, Rumble is huge.
Set is still great.
Yep.
And with Varus. And they keep sniping Ben mid lane, by the way, from DRX side.
Yeah, and it just shows that Chovy's
So-
pretty happy with his champion Ocean, which is double that of Dove's played champions so far this season. So you can understand why they're putting a lot of attention onto Dove. And SANDBOX, when they're winning, it is basically because Dove has been able to perform. So shutting him down is certainly a decent way to focus. And you can see they're just trying to clear the way for Chovy's Lucian to really have the best time possible. And they're getting rid of those wave clear mages in the mid lane so that Chovy can go aggressive. Speaking of going aggressive, OnFleek is going to lock away the Olaf. Pretty obvious that this was going to be the priority pick with so many junglers banned away, as well as Olaf still being very strong. It's now having a look towards the bottom side carrier, thinking about putting together the pick lane of all pick lanes in the Varus and the Thresh, and a lot of push potential here for this lane.
Yeah. Normally you just push Taric as Thresh, and Varus also wins Kalista in lane. So I think this is what DRX wants. They have mid pressure and they have bot pressure at the same time. They just need to pick right jungler here, not like random junglers.
Is it?
Are they gonna pick Kindred?
I don't know whether it's a Kindred time. Oh my god, I love this. They need an AP jungler of some kind. Karthus comes to mind, but I love the Evelynn. She does so much damage, can certainly control things early. Sylas would be okay as well. A little bit more of that scaling jungler, but is going to provide that magic damage that Dragon X are sorely lacking. And will also, if Pioshik's going to be able to play this champion the way that Canyon did, my god, this draft is amazing from Dragon X.
Yeah, and as you said, Canyon showed that Sylas is so great at the late game. So
Oh yeah.
If they reach the late game, they have Taric ulti, they have Kalista ulti for Chovy or that, and yeah, I mean this is so great.
Yeah.
And their answer was Cassiopeia.
Yeah, Cassio to be picked up for Dove here. I mean, Lucian, not exactly the longest range, and you won't be dashing out of that miasma, so I actually don't mind the pickup of the Cassio in the lane here. But Chovy is certainly very aggressive, and it's going to take a while for the Cassio to get online. So early game is going to be scary here for SANDBOX, even though looking down at these champions, you're like, well, they've got early game in the bag, right? I mean, decent laning phase for the Aatrox. They've got Olaf that will constantly be farming his jungle and being able to be unleashed against the Sylas. And then a very stable lane in that Kalista Taric. But I'm just looking at Dragon X and I'm seeing a whole lot of comfort champions and a whole lot of push potential here for all of the players. And Set is not going to be worried about this Aatrox one bit as he plays out his laning phase either. So Dragon X should be able to turn this into an early game lane kingdom, which is exactly how they love playing the game.
Yeah, I mean both drafts are really doable. I think it's half-half, but also at the same time, SANDBOX answer at the 5th pick was pretty brilliant because Cassiopeia blocks their dashes on the top side.
Yeah.
She can actually stop Seth from using ulti or Silas W and E, the dash and HP regen, and also Lucian. So I think that answer with the Cassiopeia was really brilliant. But yeah, I mean they have strong mid jungle synergy as well. So I really think they just need to have really great mid jungle synergy between them because it's all about mid lane pressure when you play against DRX. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yep, keep Chovy down or lose the game is basically how it feels up against Dragon X, and it's been difficult for so many teams to handle this guy. Apart from in their few losses that they've had in round 2. So we're really going to be looking at Dragon X to see whether they have that mental stability built up for themselves so they can have a better performance. And there's only one way to find out, and that is on the Rift. And here we are for game number 1 of the day out of a potential 9. How are you feeling about 9 games, Woodid? Because we've got some good matchups here today. Maybe our middle match isn't the most hype, but our last one, if that doesn't go to 3 games, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine because, as I said, I'm in my home right now, so it feels way more comfortable. So.
Perfect.
I don't even feel like I'm doing official broadcast right now, you know?
It's a bit weird. It must feel like you're like on your stream or something like that and doing like the special edition Woodid like English stream this time or something like that.
Yeah.
Except it's just over the LCK broadcast.
So they're trying to change side right now.
Yeah, got a bit of a invade going on. Sweeper has been procced and does show that there was a ward awaiting them. As you can see, Chovy very happy to push up here in this lane so far, but SANDBOX will be stealing away this red buff, and Dragon X just waiting in the brush for these guys to make their way through. As the hail of arrows comes down, Carrier will be able to find a flay onto root there, but it's just a little bit of poke damage, no harm, no foul.
Well, yeah, they changed side, but I'm not sure if this is good for SANDBOX because their bot lane matchup is not that great to push them from early game.
Whoa.
So, yeah, he's trying to go mid right now. Olaf?
Yeah, you can see OnFleek actually already up with Chovy here, but Pyosik over to the side will be able to land the chains. Only level 2 though, as you can see, Dove hasn't hit level 2 just yet, as OnFleek is going to miss one. Oh no, has to flash to get out, but the abscond isn't going to land. Doran, first rotation down as well, which is why SANDBOX immediately backed away.
That was really interesting 2v2 right there, because I think no one was certain about how they win and how they fight. So it was really interesting fight right there. But yeah, DRX got the flashes, so...
Yeah, and got an exhaust out of Dove as well. That actually could be very important if there is going to be an all-in from Chovy. He had to invest his Ignite, but isn't too much of a big deal here, as Dragon X have full control of this bottom wave. Look at the CS differential already. Deft and Carrier pretty good on this Varus Thresh.
Yeah, and also they even tried to trade the side, but they don't even care anymore. Because as I said, their 2v2 matchup is not worried at all, and I think they can even do 2v3 at this point because they have big waves and Olaf lost his flash. So I think DRX bot lane is gonna push another 2 minutes for free without carrying jungle pressure right here.
And also able to get a turret plate, I believe, with this first crash. Like, this is an absolute demolition show of the bottom lane of Dragon X. So good to see. This is what we were asking for. We were asking for a hard carry depth performance, and just maybe we might get it. As Lonely in a bit of trouble here. Doran, a great trade as he lands the Haymaker, but only onto the minions. Uses it mostly to get that shield, as Pyosik is going to be able to even out the buff trade by picking up the red buff on the other side. Chovy playing as safely as he can with a wave pushed this far, but it looks like OnFleek isn't going to be sticking around, and he's going to head back to base. It's good face breaker there from Doran, but hits a minion with his auto attack, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, Aatrox's counter pick on top side seems like working great.
Okay, fine, he's going to survive.
I mean, for early game, SANDBOX should have pressure because it's Silas versus Olaf. And
oh dear, Gorilla down to 100, but Deft is going to make his way back to lane, has himself his Vampiric Scepter to play even more aggressively in this lane. And now the backs are going to come through, and you're going to see that CS difference certainly balloon in favor of Def, as he got that cheetah recall much earlier. Poison lands onto Chovy here, but he's still in control of this lane. Ardent Blaze is going to land, and he's just going to keep picking up the farm that he can find. And OnFleek is on wards what feels like all of the time. I feel like DragonX have done a really great job in making sure that this Olaf is being tracked most of this game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what they are doing. All they need to do is just make Chovy alive. He's pressuring, but at the same time, when you're pressuring, that means you can get gank really easily.
Yeah.
So they just need to get vision for Chovy. That's what Kara is doing right now, it seems like. And yeah, I mean, my worry is DRX needs to fight at some point with the item advantage, with their laning phase advantage, right?
Yeah.
What it means is like, I don't think they can win really late game because they have SANDBOX has really great late game team fight comp because Kalista, Taric, and Cassiopeia, even though they have Olaf, I think it's really hard to play against at the late game.
And also Olaf works pretty well with the Taric in the late game as well, because you get all of those extra heals and the extra control, as Dazzle is going to miss there towards the bottom side, and Deft is going to answer back with a fair bit of damage. But yeah, I think you're right. I think DragonX are really priced into playing out a mid-game very effectively. And so far, I mean, the laning phase has gone well, but you're right. We need to see more from these guys.
I mean, it's still fine, because jungle champion difference is real, you know? So Olaf is normally ahead into Silas because of the jungle clear speed.
Yep.
And it seems like they just want to get Drake earlier. And this is great, because when you're winning early, you should just make Dragon Cycle really fast, because if you do that, actually you can get 4th Drake at 25 minutes or something.
Yep.
So they just need to make game a little bit delayed for them, because even 1 Drake can give 5 extra minutes for them for late game. So yeah, this is great attempt by SANDBOX.
And it looks like it is going to be a back timing for DragonX as well, so this Drake should be going over to SANDBOX for free, just based on positioning. And Pyoshik wants to answer with a kill onto Lonely on the top side of the map. Dragon is going to fall, but it looks like Pyoshik hasn't found his way in. Still looking for it, as there's the Infernal Chains. The Flash Facebreaker is going to come forward, and there's the ulti. Lonely does have his ult up, but it looks like they will have enough damage. Hold the turnaround, but the Haymaker in the wrong direction from Doran. And Lonely's just going to flash his way to safety.
Yeah, I mean, Lonely tried to kill Pyoshik, but Pyoshik actually dodged all the highlights.
Yeah, really nicely done.
Aatrox Q, so it was great. It was a great attempt. And they got the flash, but at the same time, Lonely survived while they're getting a Drake here. So I think it's still great for SANDBOX, it seems like.
Yep, not too bad at all, as Lonely's going to pick up all of this farm. That's going to get him to a little bit ahead of Doran here, who doesn't look like he wants to be going back just yet. Might be waiting for a specific item timing, but you can see that Lonely does have his Ninja Tabi now completed, moving towards his next items as Gorilla turns up in the mid lane, but Chovy well and truly safe right now.
Gorilla just shows himself.
He just wanders in there. It's like, hey guys, look at how fabulous I am.
I think he's like pressuring by himself, you know? Like, oh yeah, I'm here, so don't even try to pressure our mid lane, okay, Chovy?
He's like a bouncer.
I'm here.
He's like a bouncer or something, like just telling you no instead of actually trying to fight.
That's great. I mean, that's really great for them, because they're really trying to get the mid pressure, because yeah, DRX equals Chovy team. So this is effective.
It's feeling a little bit like a Def team right now, though. I think that playing around this Varus, who has such a huge advantage right now, is going to be a definite win condition for these guys. And you can see Pyoshik has identified it as he moves on over, clears out some vision here, as Mountain Drake will be the next one. We might see another Ocean Soul, or we're going to see the boringness that is the Cloud Soul. It's going to be very, very telling as to which Dragon Soul we're going to get, as to who's going to have the control moving forward. It's either the best Dragon Soul or the absolute worst.
I mean, I think it's still great for both teams. They can have earlier Taric ulti or earlier Silas ulti. So.
Yeah?
Ooh. They got the blue buff.
Yeah, they're going to steal that one away. Pyosik grabs that one for himself as there is a back coming in from Chovy. He's looking to see whether he can complete his Blade of the Ruin King as quickly as possible. Buildlore Cutlass and some boots are going to be his choice for now. Interesting that he went for the Berserker's Greaves instead of something like the Merc Treads that might be valuable this game, but I guess not too many stuns to worry about apart from the Petrifying Gaze and a Dazzle, and so just wants to have the extra attack speed for some more damage.
Yeah, DRX is looking for Herald right now. This is such a great move by DRX. Always, when they have bot pressure, they always move first. And this time, they move together for the Herald, so it seems like they're just gonna get Herald for free. Because SANDBOX bot lane didn't even reset yet. So.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. And on Fleetwood's bottom side, it felt like they had no idea that this is a move that Dragon X were planning on making. So big macro advantage for Dragon X at this stage. Dove is going to move on over, gets the bad news, but they were already right on top of this Rift Scuttle vision, and there was nothing that SANDBOX could do. So definitely demonstrating that Dragon X had the upper hand in that moment. And even Deft picking up the Eye of the Herald days, saying, I'm getting all this plate money. You, Doran, get out of my lane.
I mean, it was really great and simple rotation by DRX right there. But yeah, I'm just wondering what SANDBOX is thinking right now.
Yeah.
They're just giving away for free, and they're trying to match right now.
Well, you can see Dazzle is going to come
flashes.
through. Double flash out from the bottom lane of Dragon X. That will keep them safe, but that is a lot to invest just to get Deft a few extra shots onto Lonely. Maybe a bit more farm as Gorilla and Root are up here towards the top side, and it looks like Deft and Carrier will just clear out this lane.
I don't think that Herald was great enough, because I think they knew that they were matching on the top side, so I don't think they needed to just use it instantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not that great play by DRX, but still they got the advantage from the Herald, even though they lost flashes.
It makes me feel like Deft was looking for an item timing, maybe looking to complete his Blade of the Ruin King before this Mountain Drake comes up, but you can see now clearing out this wave. We'll see whether he's going to get back and actually try to fight for this Mountain Drake. Now going back home, we'll see whether he does have enough money for his Blade of the Ruin King, which he definitely should, and he completes it right there.
Should. Yeah, I mean, as you said, maybe they are just rushing the item. That's why they rush the play with the Heather.
Yeah.
And this Drake is going to be pretty easy fight for the DRX right now.
Well, now you can see Lonely going to get face breaked and then shot back with the ultimate. Haymaker still available here as Lonely gets lit on fire. He is going to fall down as Carrier does grab the kill with the Ignite, I believe, is now. Cosmic Radiance just a little bit too late. Chovy fighting against Gorilla right here. As you can see, double face breaker once again as Pyosik picks up the ult for himself and is going to be able to make at least the rest of his team able to disengage. Taric ult gets nerfed, by the way, if you hijack it, because you can't Bastion anyone, so it's only ever on yourself.
I mean, SANDBOX didn't even try to fight there, but Pyosik is like, oh yeah, I have Taric ulti, huh? Feels great.
He just had a good time. I don't blame him whatsoever.
Cute.
Definitely cute.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, yeah, as you see, Silas can take Taric ulti whenever. So when it hits the late game, it might affect the game.
Yeah, and we'll see what which ultimates he's actually going to be prioritizing here. Because I think Petrifying Gaze is another really important one. Yeah, on fleek, looking for Carrier, but Lonely misses everything. And Pyosik's just going to take down the Rift Scuttler. It's all fine. Absolutely okay right here.
Yeah, I just want to see more smart move by Carrier, because he's been playing worse than round 1.
Yeah, I think so too. But, I mean, he was in the right place at the right time for this particular play.
Even though he died, he got the Aatrox right there before he gets the flash. Even if he misses it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because the Ragnarok was up from the Olaf. But Doran's been playing very well this game. I think he has really been the changing point for Dragon X, because he's been a liability in some of their matches, and this is certainly looking like a much better performance from Doran here today.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was wondering why they're picking Aatrox into set. Because they already so set on the first pick, and they could just wait until the set, where the set goes, and just counter pick on the top side or support, but they didn't. They just picked Aatrox for no reason.
Yeah, they did.
So and he's losing lane, and he's not effective at all for whole game right now. So
it actually makes me really happy to watch this Aatrox losing over and over again, because maybe it'll allow our teams to learn that blind picking Aatrox in really weird positions like this is just silly. We have to remember that Ornn fell entirely through the draft. He was not banned and he was not picked whatsoever. And if Lonely was playing Ornn right here, it's a free win draft. Like, look at that. It's so strong. But instead, they're going to go for the Aatrox to try and give Lonely some comfort on this champion. But, I mean, there's comfort and then there's just a bad decision. And it's feeling a little bit like the bad decision side of things at this point. As Onfleek walking over wards here as Deft is just munching on some honey fruit. Eats them all. And we'll move back down towards the bottom lane by the looks of things to continue farming things out. Looking towards his Rage Blade as his next item, as Lonely exploring the alcoves as Doran is here. And our Ocean Soul Dream is alive. So the Drakes are going to be very important for both teams. And this actually creates a huge win condition for DragonX, as the Dazzle's going to go wide. Lantern, pretty powerful ability, but it looks like SANDBOX will be able to brute force this bottom lane out of turret.
This is really great play by SANDBOX. The lane assignment wise, you normally put the ball lane on the mid.
Yeah.
And when it's already mid.
Whoa, there's the flash. Root's in trouble. The culling comes down, but the abscond is going to miss. Root burns from the ignite, but is going to survive as Chovy very, very low, but he's going to be okay as well. Root will need to be careful, but Gorilla has some heals available, and it looks like DragonX won't be able to take this out of turret.
That was really aggressive flash forward into Kalista. I mean, they knew that Kalista has no flash, but yeah, that was really close.
If Kyoshik had hit his abilities, that would have been a kill, right? And that would have been so much more worth it.
I mean, I was expecting him to just flash and W and then use his E, but yeah, I mean, they're just happy that they got the pressure on the mid, I guess.
Yep, and I guess Kyoshik was able to at least hold on to his summoner spells, so there's that. We've got Black Cleaver coming through as the second item of choice here for Chovy. We're seeing a lot more of this as far as our mid lane Lucians are concerned. Faker also opting into the Black Cleaver build, and then going towards Essence Reaver afterwards. Carry is going to face check as Dove has the Miasma down, but Flash is going to be utilized. And Kyoshik clearing out some vision, but he knows that there are 4 members around him. Deft is moving on down here as well. Flash out there from Kyoshik as the Undertow flies past. But you can see SANDBOX, much better positioning here, and it feels like what was great macro play from DragonX early has now sort of fallen by the wayside. As there's the hook going to land, as Harriet is going to go in. Cosmic Radiance comes through, and once again, the flash comes down this time. And 2 kills already for the Cassiopeia. Lonely makes his way in. It's a good hook to stop the engage. As now Chovy off to the side, has the culling. As now Deft at full health, trying to fight against Dove here. He has to flash the exhaust. Not enough, as the flash forward from Deft is going to be... Oh no! Not quite able to get that kill. Time Warp Tonic is busted, everyone. And he is going to be able to walk his way out. Dove survives, but this turret isn't going to be so lucky. And look at how angry Deft is right now.
Yes, he is. And it seemed like Cassiopeia is already affecting the game with his ability, which is W. Stops every dashes and all the skill sets by Silas.
Yeah.
So it was really a clear 2 kills by SANDBOX, but also DRX reaction was really great there. With Doran plays set right there, he just kills Kalista on board.
Yeah, I actually wasn't watching where Doran was. I was focusing on
Chovy.
The flash
Chovy
in there.
And Doran. Chovy and Doran.
Yeah, Chovy does a fair bit of damage here, as you can see. Lonely, still, I mean, he's Aatrox, and it's unfortunately just not quite good enough. Despite the fact that the culling did almost nothing in that fight, you saw the flash forward from Deft, and everyone being so low meant that this outer turret falls, as well as the Ocean Drake. So still a really good engage for DragonX, despite going even as far as the kills, or actually being 1 behind.
Yeah, I mean, this is the timing that DRX needs to do something against that comp, because I don't see how they win late game when it comes to late game against the SANDBOX. So
yeah,
that was the timing, but I don't think it was enough. If they got the Cassiopeia, maybe it was great still, but Chovy has no kills and Deft either. So I don't think DRX is happy with this result.
No, they're not quite ahead enough at this point in time.
Exactly.
But still, they do pick up the first Ocean Drake. They get the second one. That'll actually be a lot of healing and mana regen for them throughout this mid game. And playing around an Ocean Soul is certainly a good way to win the game. So if DRX do manage to lock that down, then it should be a win. As now OnFleek is going to try and chase after Pyoshik. And unfortunately, the Miasma not quite in range of the Lantern to deny anything there. So Pyoshik makes it out just fine. Facebreaker in from Doran here as he's going for these trades. Haymaker in a good position as he's unable to quite break the chain. And Lonely is getting some good trades in.
That's why maybe he picked Aatrox there, to get the better trades. You know?
That one better trade. Do you think that Ornn would have been worse in that instance? I don't even want to know the answer to that question. I don't want to know. I want to assume that our teams know what they're doing. And when I don't have an answer to that, it makes it difficult.
I'm just worrying about DRX, how they can reach to Kalista and Cassiopeia in the late game, because they all need to dash inside to Cassiopeia, and normally the dashing inside is worse positioning than this defensive position by SANDBOX. So I'm not sure if it's gonna good for DRX if the game goes late. They got the third Drake, so probably they think it's still fine, but I think Chovy is in a hurry because he should know that his champion has some limit.
Yeah.
Because he's playing Lucian, and he's playing against Taric and Cassiopeia. Actually, Kalista doesn't even need to play the game.
Nope, she just bounces around behind them.
Yeah, it's just about the two champions. All he needs to do is just make Taric survive in the team fight.
And
to use his ulti.
Yeah, and that's going to get easier and easier as this game goes on, and Gorilla gets a few more items as Chovy able to dash out of the way of the Miasma. That will keep him alive for the moment as Doran clearing out the wave on the bottom side. And he is caught up a little bit. Lonely did have a pretty decent farm advantage. But OnFleek misses the Rip Scuttle. The most difficult thing to hit with a skill shot in the game, in my opinion. Now Doran's just going to walk forward and smash down this turret. We'll see whether he can win the fight here as well, as that's the World Ender being popped by Lonely. And Doran's just going to have some fun moving out of the way of those skill shots, and he's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah. I mean, still good thing is DRX bot lane is just stomping against the SANDBOX, because Kalista has already been disappeared from this game. So
yeah. And now
that
Jeff has a huge item advantage as well as we move into our next Ocean Drake. That is good news.
I mean, normally when you play Kalista, you should get all the advantage, but that Varus pick against Kalista was pretty brilliant, and in-game wise, also they were pushing lane all the time, and he already got 2 items earlier than Kalista, so...
Yeah, and you can see the damage. Kalista's done nothing so far this game.
1.4k damage.
That is close to the meme level. It's not good. It's a bit of a monk-esque, I think, a little bit. But we knew that Deft and Carrier were going to have a pretty decent time with how this lane was going to pair up. That's why the Varus was locked in, was to answer the Kalista that I assume DragonX knew was coming. And so far it's been a good choice, but I think that you're right in highlighting the Cassiopeia as being the massive problem as this game goes on. And the hook is going to land here onto Lonely. He's going to get played back. The bot comes down, but he's still going to hit one of the walls. World Ender is available here for Pyoshik as well, as he just wants to hijack something, I think, as now Root in trouble. Chovy, fair bit of damage as the culling comes down. Root not going to get the Taric ulti just yet. In fact, picks up the Taric himself and looks to try and throw him around, but Gorilla's going to say, nope, we're not going to go for a re-engage without our top lane. And now, with the Ocean Drake alive, this is a perfect time for DragonX to win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, Lonely just died for no reason.
Yeah.
It just felt like my solo queue game.
Yeah. With that Aatrox one trick, and you're like, oh man, could you just play Ornn here for the team comp? And he's like, no, I play Aatrox. Nope. That's it.
And he lost lane, and he's impacting other lanes as well, you know? He's just running mid and like, I lost lane, so I might just go mid and take CS. Yeah. Instead of Kalista taking CS mid lane.
Do we think that maybe Lonely thinks that it's an Aatrox buff to have Death's Dance now more of a defensive choice, but I actually think that Death's Dance is just actively worse on Aatrox now, right? That's what it feels like
Yeah,
to me with the lack of lifesteal. Like the lifesteal was what made it so good because it gives you like spell-based lifesteal instead of just having the regular lifesteal available. I don't know, man. It seems a bit weird to me.
I mean, I just want to spotlight that mistake again because that's really critical mistake right there with the solo queue habit. You normally call it solo queue habit because in solo queue normally no one punishes it. You know?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a solo queue, but yeah, solo queue habit in a team game, that's really critical. That he died like that. He had no vision at all on the both sides of the mid lane, and they don't even need to get mid pressure right there, and he was alone. So it was really, really unnecessary play right there. And game is getting delayed a little bit here. Maybe SANDBOX is still saying that we have Kalista, Taric, and Cassiopeia, so we don't need to hurry. But
yeah,
giving a free kill is not still not great.
I think it's more than just the free kill, right? It's a free Ocean Drake that now DRX can use to threaten Ocean Soul in their next fight. So now the amount of control that DRX has on the map is going to be huge, and with the composition that they have, like SANDBOX with control with this comp, with the Cassiopeia being able to stand her ground and control where DRX are, like SANDBOX is in such a good position if they have that available to them. However, if DRX can make SANDBOX reposition and come to them, then there's far more opportunity for Deft to find a Chains of Corruption, for a hook to be coming out of a brush that SANDBOX don't have vision of. So playing around these objectives that DRX has control of is much easier for them in the context of the composition. So the fact that that Ocean Soul went over for free is even worse than just the isolated kill and then being able to push forward. So, I mean, Lonely, I know that we're sort of harping on about Lonely's mistake, but it's way worse than you might initially expect for just the composition that SANDBOX has. So,
exactly,
really unfortunate stuff here. But we'll see whether SANDBOX can get themselves together, because like you were saying, this composition is still strong, even if it's an Aatrox instead of an Ornn.
I mean, it's still fine. My worry is Doran having all the pressure on the side lane, because it's just so easy to play the game when your side laner has all the pressure against the enemy side lane.
Yeah.
And it seems like Chovy is also having fun on the side lane. And all they need to do is just not giving a free objective and not giving a free solo kill. If they group S5, they have still strong competition. So
Yeah.
they just need to get vision around the Nashor side and just try to delay the game until Cassiopeia gets Liandry's or Zhonya's, or just more powerful items, you know?
Yeah, and you just completed the Zhonya's here as well, so
that's great.
Only one more item and then he's going to be extraordinarily dangerous. Like, you get Liandry's and then cap it off with like Deathcap Void stuff or something like that. That is like almost optimal item build here for Dove. So I actually really love what he's picked up. Rylai's Cassiopeia is just so good at controlling a team fight, and that's exactly what this SANDBOX composition is so good at. So, I mean, I know we've been saying, you know, bad things about Lonely and stuff like that, but Dove has been performing very, very well, despite being down by like 40 CS at the moment. But it's just the Chovy effect, unfortunately. Chovy just farms better than most people. And Deft right now is showing that he himself is doing a damn good job. 30 CS ahead of the clock right now.
Nashor?
My God, yeah, you're exactly right. Baron has been started, is now Doran playing Bouncer. Trying to keep on fleek out here. As you can see, Chovy dashes over the wall, looks for Gorilla. The Dazzle comes in, as there's the culling. Root in a little bit of trouble, but the Fate's Call is going to keep the Taric alive. Now DragonX thinking about pushing out this mid lane and then moving towards a fight around the Ocean Drake that SANDBOX cannot give up.
That was really great play by Chovy right there. Like, look at how Chovy plays the game. He's always who's starting the fight.
Again.
And he's dashing in again. This is what we want from Chovy. He's trying to 1v9 this game.
Well, we'll see whether he can do it. As Gyoshik, he's got a Cosmic Radiance available for himself with his hijack. Is now good knock up there, but Chovy's going to break those chains. Gyoshik dashing on forward. He's invincible. But OnFleek is going to be able to run out of this one. The flash hook is going to come in. The flash to answer there from Root, as well as Lonely down to half.
Doran!
Down as well as in goes Doran. Immediately, Root just pops like a balloon, and Deft is free hitting. There is no way SANDBOX can do anything in this team fight. A triple kill and maybe just the end of the game here for DragonX.
That was insane play by Doran right there. He just stunned 3 targets and just pick up the Kalista, just perfect timing.
And then just,
And
yeah,
it was
threw her into the ground. Like, she
Oh
just
my
died
God.
instantly. And this should just be the end of the game. Just insane team fighting from DRX against a comp that had a really good team fight.
Yes, this is the reason why you shouldn't just give free lane for Doran, because this is what DRX wants. They just need one player that it helps Chovy the team fight, and it was Doran this
Yeah, Doran actually playing fantastically well. And the rest of DRX playing around what wasn't necessarily just being like having a good composition or anything like that. I think that it was pretty dicey with comp versus comp. You saw Dove being able to play things out relatively well. We were talking about that, but the fact that Deft was standing like in the middle of the cluster of players just free hitting with his Runan's Hurricane just shows how much better they were at the team fight, and their setup being so much stronger. Like Doran getting into that backline, creating all of those issues. Oh man, really, really good stuff. Just great to see some good play out of Doran and the rest of DRX performing as expected, right? Like you look at Deft and Chovy, you expect them to be good, but when the rest of the pieces come together, oh, this team looks like an absolute joy to watch. It reminds me of, I think we had this conversation about Gen G as well. I mean, you were talking about Rascal stepping up and that being such a good thing, Life stepping up and that being strong, because we just assume that BDD and Clid are going to be fantastic. I think like the BDD and Clid of DragonX is Chovy and Deft, and when the rest of the pieces perform, like when Carrier has his pop-off, when Doran has his pop-off, like that's when we can see the World Championship status potential of this DragonX squad. And we saw it today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they had really great draft either, because last time when they picked Caitlyn Braum, it's still in my head, it's shocking.
Oh yeah.
But this time they just got decent bot lane, which is Varus and Thresh. It's a great combo, and they got the pressure whole time on the bot lane, so it helped a lot for Chovy and Pyoshik to get the mid jungle vision control. And yeah. And Doran deserved the POG right here, right?
Absolutely. I gave mine
even though they're
instantly to Doran.
Yeah, even though their bot lane played well, I think Doran's team fight were just really great with Chovy. I mean, yeah, maybe we can think about Chovy getting POG right there, because he was just dashing in all the time with the safety, and he was making all the plays by himself. But yeah,
it was Doran's control of team fights that was just so good as Dove down to 1 health right there.
I agree.
Oh no, that's a tilter. But this was Lonely messing up, but Doran being able to capitalize on his lane opponent being put so far behind very, very well. And it wasn't like, you know, Lonely was throwing away solo kills in lane or anything like that. This was a set that was pretty honest. But look at this, like, he doesn't care about the showstopper or anything like that doing damage. He just wants to create the right positioning so that Deft can stand right there and just turret. Oh my god,
that was
so
great.
good. And you can see it was pretty slow as far as the gold increase until the end, where DragonX decided that SANDBOX were gonna lose. As, yeah.
Kalista, god. Kalista did lower damage than enemy Thresh.
No.
This is just disaster. Just disaster, man. It's gonna be meme, man.
Yeah, that is
all the
a meme.
communities right now.
And I mean, I'm looking at Chovy doubling the damage of his opponent, but then you look at Deft and it's over quadruple the damage of his opponent. Oh god.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm known as just flaming all the pro players, but I feel bad about it. You know,
well, I mean,
right
that's not flame. That's looking at a stat. That's looking at a stat and being like, this happened in the game. Like that's not flame. That's a fact. As we are going to go to a short break, guys. When we get back, game number 2 between DRX and SANDBOX. Stick around.